everyone. Thanks for joining me for a great cup of coffee. I finished the charity blanket and I'm so happy about it. So, because it came out really beautiful, I added a few things as we were going along. And I did take some still shots so you can see. But I am going to hold it up and I'm going to talk to you about the hem. Because I took some clips on the hem and I show you how I did this. But look at this. Look at how that hem makes it pop. Let's see if I can hold it up. So you see the hearts I added. And you know, the beautiful thing about hearts is, for me anyway, as I'm doing a piece like this, I consider this a meditation piece. And as I'm doing it, cutting out the hearts, sewing on the hearts, and I'm thinking about all of the things that the hearts represent, which is love, understanding, compassion, you know, even how we get through grief really is through love and compassion, right? Look at the back here. This was a remnant and it's super soft. It's beautiful. But look at that. It's like, if let's say you don't want to lay the blanket down for this side, this side's just as beautiful. Really. Now, when I did the hem, the reason I picked this method is because, first of all, it was a remnant. So I really wasn't sure if it was going to fit and whatnot. But I had plenty of room. So I used a very wide margin so I could fold this over generously. I folded it over 2 times, so it's a nice 2. But you could fold it more, let's say, if you wanted to. I mean, even for effect. Now, did I have trouble sewing this? Because I want to review quickly with you. This is 4 layers. I didn't have trouble sewing, and this is the reason. So you might, I show you the video. I believe I have a clip on showing you the base. So I show you the base, which is a light blue floral cotton sheet. That is what I build the Boro design on. So that's 1 layer, and that's super easy. I'm sewing through 1 layer. Then I go and I get a thin flannel sheet. Excuse me. And I lay that on the back and I measure it and I sew around the edges for that one. And that's my batting. Okay. So that is a 3rd layer. Now, that layer, even though I sewed around the edges, that layer, if you see the Sashiko stitching, the freestyle Sashiko stitching, I'm picking areas where I'm sewing the Sashiko stitching in addition to the hearts. But I do that all through the blanket, kind of randomly. I'm not giving this one any like continuous, what they call continuous stitching. Sashiko stitching. So I'm going around randomly, and that is reinforcing, besides the batting being sewed to around the edge, it is also now technically the 3rd layer, but it's also secured with these random Sashiko stitches. So now we get to the 4th layer, which is the backing. And what I felt necessary, and this is what I truly love about necessity and creativity and design, is it just, sometimes it flows as you need. But look, I put the knots, okay? I didn't do French knots. I was thinking about it, but I just did I did the traditional tie knot. So these are what you use when you do hand quilting so that the backing is secure. So let's say if somebody hand washes this, or every time they pick it up, the backing's not pulling away from the stitches. This way it is secured. All 4 layers are secure now with the tie knot. And I love the tie knot. I showed you a while ago when I was going through my Kawandi and Boro building. I did a quilt very similar to this. I do the hearts, and I use my Boro method or Kawandi method, and all hand stitch. So I may have thrown some machine in that one, but most of it's all hand stitch, and it's beautiful, and I love the feel of it, and it's soft, and so I hope that this really inspires you. I totally love this. I love the colors. So now, talking about the hearts, and I show you a clip where on how to cut a heart out super easy. I show it to you in the following. And I show you the hem, and I show you that I'm trimming before I put that backing on, and I show you the building. So I have clips on the whole process, 1, 2, 3. So not repeating 1, 2, but they're different clips I didn't download. So, but I think you're going to really enjoy it. And, look, I mean, this is 40 inches by 40 inches. You could make something smaller, okay? You could make as I have a video on a table mat. Next, I'm going to do a scarf, and I'm going to do the scarf very similar to this. And I'm thinking I'm using this because I have more of this material. I mean, it was a remnant in the remnant bin that they throw out. So I think I just love the brightness of this so much in itself. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to build a scarf, and I'll do it with you, okay? Because we're at the time of year where it is scarf time. But I also show at the end of the video some still images on this, and sitting this on a chair. This is gorgeous. Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you, and I hope it inspires you. And I did put the information, I'll put it in this one too, the content, in the content for if you want to make a blanket for charity or make a blanket for yourself, I mean, or for Christmas. Now, I am going to make a couple of gifts, which I normally do with the Boro and Sashiko for Christmas for some friends. And I will share those on this video on this channel, okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoy the following. Well, so I have 4 different designs in mind. So I sketched them out, and I'm going to tell you about them. I did finish the 40 inch by 40 inch base and batting, which I'm using just a fleece cotton sheet, lightweight. So that's sewed together, measured out. So now what I'm ready to do is put, I'm not putting the backing on yet, but what I want to do is, what I first thought I wanted to do was just a typical Boro design where I have I don't have it with me, but all my small pieces and that I had cut out from my fabrics, and I actually had a little clip on that, and I'll show you. And then lay them out like a Boro design. Now, the second idea I had was to, and it's referenced either, Canva is a method of creating the blankets using the slow stitch, what they call the slow stitch. It's still a visible Sashiko stitch. But the way they do it is like they space it like 2, 2, 2, and with multiple, they usually use sarongs, but multiple fabrics. together, so you get a very quilty, beautiful blanket. So I was thinking of that, and then putting a little stacking little Boro pieces on top of that. So, and then I came to the best idea, like, yeah, and that's again mixed methods and cutting out traditional shaped hearts appliques, traditional shaped hearts, and out of different fabrics, and sewing them onto a larger pieces of fabric. So I don't have a lot of little pieces of the Boro building, but I have larger, like here, I'll show you this, like this blanket that I had done. So that one, and then sew the backing on after, but sew the hearts on the front part of this, on this part that would be here. So the print is very pretty, so if that shows, that's okay. But anyway, so I have a few ideas kicking around. The next clip should be definitely the one that shows the fabrics I'm using in the design. Okay, now what I started to do was lay my pieces out, and you see the pieces are large. And I'm not going to lay them all out like I do on a lot of my projects. I'm going to do this many, and I'm going to start sewing. And I did decide upon these larger pieces for Boro building. And then I'm going to use the traditional heart appliques. I'm going to cut out hearts of all different sizes, and then I will sew them on lastly, and then I'll sew the backing on lastly. But so look at these. This is pretty. So this is a blanket, 40 inches by 40 inches. This is the blanket for Charity, and this is the beginning of it. So if you're following me along, you start laying your pieces out. Okay, hi. I am sewing as I go along. I'm not laying out my entire piece. I'm laying out large pieces to create a Boro design, do my Boro, and I am doing my Sashiko stitching along the borders, really, of each piece. So, and then I'm going to come back around, and I may very well do the Sashiko stitching within each piece. But this is how I'm doing it. This is what it looks like. This is the base. So these are just two pieces I have laid out right here. So I'm just working on these two pieces. And you can see, actually, look how quickly, really, I can go along with the Sashiko stitching. And many times people will do 3. There's 3. And that pulls through a lot quicker and easier. But I figure I would show you this because I mean, I don't know if it takes any longer, really. It might take a little longer if I lay all the pieces out, because then I'm having to be very careful not to move my other pieces. So laying a piece out, a couple of pieces, sewing it, and it just moves along a little quicker. One of the things I absolutely love about doing the hem this way is that if this, let's say you didn't cut it completely evenly, okay? That's okay, because what's going to happen is when you fold it, you're going to fold it. Let me show you this whole thing here. Okay, this is all around. I have laid the blanket down onto the backing, and what I'm going to do, I got this tripod on there, is I'm going to show you the corner, because what you can do is, if you can go first, let's say you're going to fold all of this side of the hem. So I'm going to try to position this so you can see me at least folding most of it here. Okay, so I'm going to fold it twice. I'm going to fold it like that. I'm still hand sewing everything. I'm going to fold it halfway all the way up. And then I'm going to fold it again. So that's the second fold. This is where I am going to start pinning, because I do want that to stay as I'm folding it. I don't want to lose the fold, and this way I can see I've got it even with the edge of the blanket, and I want to make sure that I don't lose that position. So, and I'm going to go all the way up. And then I'm going to show you how to do the corners. Now you're going to go to the other side. You go to the other side parallel to this side and fold it just like this. And then I'm going to show you how to do the corner here. That back a little. There. Okay. So the corner, what you're going to do is essentially the very same thing. It is the same thing. You're going to fold it halfway, all the way across. Make sure that's nice and even with the edge there. And then you're going to fold it again. I'm going to pin it. Up. There. Now, because you did this side first, and then you did the other side parallel to it, when you fold this up, you're going to do the top part of it, and then your corners will all be matching with the folds and direction, and it will look a little unified if you want it that way. What I do typically is I go straight around it. So the corners are all folded different ways, but I like that effect. And most people are not looking for that, but I just like that. So, okay. So that is the beginning of the hem. And then what I'm going to do is sew that on. Okay, that's next.